Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My name is Tafazwa, not his real name. Originally, I do come from Chipinge, but I moved to Harare when I was somewhere around 20 years, hoping to find work and to start a new life. So in our family, what happened was that there is this other uncle of mine who was the last born in the family which my father was born into. So this uncle of mine, after he had a big argument with his own wife, he was said that he went into the forest and he cut a big stick and then he made it to look like it was a spear. He then returned back home and then he started beating up his wife, and then he made his wife to sleep on her back and he started pushing that stick inside her private parts until she passed away. So there had always been that spirit of Ngozi, like we say it in Shona, the avenging spirit that was always in the family. So whenever there is an avenging spirit in the family, what people will do is that everyone will go out to get their own tokoloshi so that the tokoloshi can defend the kids against the avenging spirit. My father, he also had his own tokoloshi, as well as my uncles, my aunties, everyone I can say in the family. So I do come from that family of ritualists. So if you are going to judge me, I want you to understand from where I am coming from. So when I was now in Harare, I was doing small jobs, loading goods at the markets, cleaning cars, anything that I could find. By 2004, I was tired of struggling. Life in Harare was hard and I wanted more. I was seeing people that were making money, most of them that were going to South Africa to buy some groceries and then reselling them in Harare. I wanted to run such a business and I thought to myself, why can't I have that too? And growing up, I always heard that there were some of my relatives that used to go to Mozambique to get themselves strengthened whenever it was time for that avenging spirit to come back haunting the family. But I did not have any connections there in Mozambique until I met a man whom I'll call Simba. He was an old man than I was. He had connections everywhere. This man, he came from a village in Kuruwe. So he told me about a witch doctor who was in Kuruwe, someone who could help me to get rich quickly. I was skeptical and I did not want to get scammed. I thought that at least if I was going to trust this man, this was going to be my chance to a better life. But at the same time, I was really nervous of getting scammed because I had some of my cousin brothers who were working as traditional healers and they were busy scamming people, lying to them that they can do these money-making rituals. We then went to Kuruwe. The trip was long and exhausting, and then we arrived there. It was a remote landscape, and then we reached a small village where the witch doctor was staying. And when I was at that witch doctor's place, I saw that indeed I had arrived at the place where I was going to chase away the spirit of poverty for good. And then I was taken to the consultation room. Whilst I was there, that was when I was told that this thing that we needed to do, my mother was the one that was going to be needed. I was then given some charms. In Shona, we call it kona. So this is like a calabash that will be full of charms that you have to use for your money-making rituals. I was then given the charms in a small plastic bag that had some dried mushrooms, and I was told that I had to go and somehow I had to feed these mushrooms to my mom, and after I would have fed these mushrooms to my mom, then I had to return back to Harare. So the very next day, I then went home. When I went back home, and we then went to the fields. Whilst we were busy preparing, when it was somewhere around 11 a.m., my mom then told me to keep on doing what I was doing in the fields whilst she goes back and then she can prepare something for us to eat. I said, no, it is fine. Let me go and let me try. Since there is no firewood, I'm going to look for some firewood, and after that I'm going to cook for you, mom. And then that was when she agreed. I went and I cooked the food and I mixed it with the dried mushrooms. But as for me, I ate something else. And when I returned back to the fields, I then gave my mom the pap and the dried mushrooms. And my mom, she ate. And after she ate, then I returned back to the city. We continued with the rituals, and then my mother passed away. I killed my own mom, buried her with my own hands, and I know that what I did was wrong. Sure enough, the money came within weeks after my mother had passed away. In Harare, no one knew me, even my relatives. I was now avoiding them. I started a small taxi businesses. I bought 3 taxis and then I hired drivers. For a few years, everything was perfect. Married to a very beautiful woman who also came from a wealthy family. I was finally living the life that I had always wanted. I moved into a better neighborhood, was enjoying life, but by 2010, things started going wrong. My taxis, they were breaking down. One of my guy who was working as my taxi driver, he said that unfortunately he could not continue working for me. I asked him why he could not work for me anymore. He told me that there was this other day when he came to collect the taxi around 4 a.m. so that they can pick up people that will be going to work early. And then he said that he saw a woman who said that she was my mother who was sitting in the taxi. And after that, then his child got so sick. And when he went to a white garment church, he was told that if he continued working for me, since I was a ritualist, then his child was going to die. And then I knew that I was now in trouble. I returned back to Guruve, but the problem was that I had spent so many years without returning back to that traditional healer like I had promised him that I would do. I found him already dead. The man had passed away. The sons were unwilling to assist me. They were overcharging me. They said that since I did not honor my contract with their father, so they were going to punish me. They told me that I was supposed to bring 60 cows, or the money that was equivalent to the 60 cows. There was no way I could get the money. Already I was owing a lot of mechanics a lot of money because my taxis, they were always breaking down. I was not making any profit at all. By 2011, I was broke. I sold everything. I ended up selling the taxis as scrap, just breaking the taxis, selling part by part, and no one could assist me. Now I am just working as a street vendor, selling small items, fruits on the streets of Harare. I spend most of my days thinking about my mother, the money that I used to have. As for my wife, she has since traveled abroad. Soon after she saw that things were really going down, before she had gotten to know that I was a ritualist, her parents then said that she was supposed to travel abroad. She took my kids, and now I am just alone. There is no one who can assist me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. That was the translation of the message that he sent to me. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.